check this out, folks. This woman has supposedly been caught having sex with her soon-to-be husband's son, whose father is now suing her for the offense.
Stanley Price is suing his ex-fiancée, Erica Beasley, in the amount of $7,500. He says the defendant pawned his engagement ring without consulting him first. Ms. Beasley claims the ring belonged to her and she needed to sell it because the plaintiff kicked her out of their home.
I'm troubled by this case. It's not a difficult case in terms of the issue. You want the ring back that you gave your now ex-fiancé.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Beasley, you're saying that you should be able to keep this ring.
It was a gift, yes.
Right. All right. Tell me your story, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, actually, 6 years ago, I walked into this downtown lounge in Oklahoma and saw this singer on stage who actually just took my breath away, and I fell in love instantly. We basically courted each other, and after about 3 years into the relationship, I proposed to her. Bought a very, very expensive ring and proposed to her at her birthday party. Brought all of her friends, her mom, distant friends.
Right.
Had everybody in for the proposal /
And you were
birthday
prepared
party.
to go forward in terms of living a life with her and being married.
Yes.
And you accepted and you felt the
Yes.
same. Okay. And
At the time.
And, well, actually, I thought this was the person I wanted to spend my life with until I found out that she was in a relationship, sexual relationship with my son.
right.
Tyler, which was 16 at the time when I found out, and I called it off.
All right. Tyler is a 16-year-old that you started having relationships with.
Correct.
You found out she was sleeping with your son Tyler, you called it off.
Right. Soon as I found out.
As well he should have.
Yeah.
And I would think that in and of itself would result in you giving back the ring. I mean, have you no shame? How did you find out about this?
Well, Your Honor, I'm a ghost chaser.
He's crazy.
No.
You're a ghost chaser.
Yes. Yes, sir. So
what does that have to do with what was going on here?
Well, actually, I set up cameras in my home. Actually, there was some ghosts in my home I saw on a couple occasions. So I set up cameras to actually catch the ghosts in my home. So
there's a lot going on here.
The ghosts were in his head.
I know, Your Honor, but
all right.
The ghosts were in your
there's nothing really
head.
to do in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So
you're going to blame it on the state of Oklahoma. All right. And so you set up these cameras.
Yes,
this
sir.
was some sort of paranormal
thing
that
to
you're
catch some
into?
paranormal activity.
And this is your thing. I take it.
I was just basically, like I said, I saw a couple of ghosts before, and no one believed me, so I set up cameras to go ahead and catch them on tape.
And you didn't catch a ghost?
No, but I caught something else on tape.
And that's when
I saw my then fiance and my 16-year-old son on the couch doing what I think would embarrass a porn star if you saw that tape.
What happened to the ring?
I found out I was pregnant shortly after. Stanley, again, was nowhere to be found when I needed support for my baby.
You've had the baby?
Yes. She's
Whose
3 months.
baby,
She
Your
is
Honor?
3 months old, and
Whose
I'm the
baby?
sole
What's the
caretaker.
baby's name?
Bella.
I'll call it X, Your Honor, because I don't know who baby it is. Could be my
Exactly.
son.
Some father he is.
And you've now had this child. You told me everything but what happened to the ring.
I needed money for the expenses, mostly for
So
the
you
baby.
sold the ring.
Yes.
So you don't have the ring to
I
give
don't
back.
have the ring.
You pawned it.
I did with it
You have
what I
proof that
wanted
it was
to
worth
because it was a gift.
$7,500?
It was my ring.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Let me see that.
And as you can see here, it stipulates it's not a gift. It says engagement ring.
Well, here's the issue.
$7,300.
No, I see. You actually paid $7,325 for it.
Yes, sir.
But the bigger issue here is, who's the father of the child?
That's me.
That's
right
why
here.
I'm here, Your Honor, as well.
We have the paternity results.
Judge
With 99.9% probability, Bella's father is Tyler.
Told you.
Your reaction's odd to me. This is someone that you asked to marry you. She has sex with your son. You now know that your son is the father of this child, which makes you the grandfather of this baby, and you start dancing like, thank God it's not me.
You know
and
what,
yet
Your Honor,
this is still your blood.
Still.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel will come down in favor of the plaintiff. Because if you think I'm going to allow you to not return that money after what you have put this man through, you are stunningly misinformed. $7,500 is your judgment. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $7,500.
Crazy, isn't it? It's almost too good to be true. Well, that's because it is. The entire thing is fake. And that's something most people don't know about these daytime court dramas. This, of course, explains how she could have had sex with a 16-year-old without somehow being arrested, serving prison time, and registering as a sex offender. Not that it would be fair, of course. That young man would not have been harmed by her sexual advances, I assure you. Of course, they made this up as well.
Your Honor, I'm a ghost chaser.
He's crazy.
No.
You're a ghost chaser.
Yes. Yes, sir. So
what does that have to do with what was going on here?
Well, actually, I set up cameras in my home. Actually, basically, was some ghosts in my home I saw on a couple occasions. So I set up cameras to actually catch the ghosts in my home.
Daytime reality TV court dramas are not real, and the judges exaggerate their behaviors for the camera. In fact, this particular judge, Kevin Ross, goes so far in faking court for television that he has officially been stripped of his position by the Commission on Judicial Performance. According to the Commission, Kevin Ross has violated defendants' constitutional rights, made improper comments to the media, used his office in an effort to promote a tasteless concept for a television program, and has been evasive when confronted by the Commission about his conduct. He's since been permanently banned from practicing law. Now, if only such a fate would befall this scumbag, Dr.phil McGraw. Dr.phil is not a licensed psychologist. Yeah, really. What he does on television is entertainment, and no, he does not care about the well-being of the people on his show. What interests him, rather, is other people's impression that he cares. Take, for example, the case of Todd Herzog, an alcoholic who was secretly given both alcohol and narcotic drugs by the Dr.phil team so that he'd be inebriated enough to boost TV ratings.
He went into the green room and found that there was a bottle of vodka there. He also claimed that he was given drugs right before he went on air. Take a look at what he has to say.
I show up to the studios and I'm sober. I'm hurting a lot and I'm shaking. My dad was there and I went and talked to him in his dressing room and I was completely sober. And then they pull me into my dressing room and there was 2 liters of vodka and like some Red Bulls and orange juice and stuff like that. You know, being unsupervised by my parents, I drank the entire bottle. And then at some point, somebody gave me a Xanax. They said, this will calm your nerves. And so I had been drinking and took a Xanax, which I've never taken Xanax before in my life. And I know that can be a deadly combination, so why it was given to me, I don't know.
Todd, Dr.phil.
Hi, I'm Todd.
Next thing you know, I'm being carried onto the stage because I can barely walk.
How drunk do you think you are right now?
An entire bottle of vodka.
Keep going. 0.263. What's going to happen to you if you keep drinking like you're drinking?
I'm gonna die.
There's also this girl's account of the Dr.phil staff, prompting her to participate in scripted dialogue with Dr.phil, again, to boost TV ratings.
And so I'm staying at my parents' house, like freaking out about all this stalker stuff, posting it everywhere, and I get a call, and it's from Catherine from the Steve Harvey Show. So I pick it up, and she's like, Tana, like long time no talk. I've been seeing you succeeding so much lately. Like it's so crazy that like I talked to you when you had like 100,000 subscribers. We're so happy for you, blah, blah, blah. Like we saw your stalker story. I actually don't work with Steve Harvey anymore. I work with Dr.phil. And I'm like, oh shit, this was before the Catch Me Outside girl. So who knows, I could have been the first Catch Me Outside girl. No, I'm just kidding. And so she was like, long story short, Dr.phil wants to do an entire episode on you and your stalker. And I'm like, what? Because that's crazy. I grew up watching Dr. Phil. I actually really like the show. I've watched hundreds of episodes. This was definitely the time in my life where I felt the least protected from my stalker, the most freaked out about it. I hated it the most. I was talking about it everywhere all the time. Like, there was literally points where I would be talking about it because I like fucking thought I was gonna die. And I wanted the world to know, like, if I die, like, this is why type shit. So the fact that like I would be able to tell my story on like national television and like obviously just getting recognition too for my YouTube videos and my story and stuff like that was so cool. And like I love Dr. Phil, and like I still hadn't had an opportunity to be on like mainstream television, so like that was crazy to me. And so I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Like, you don't have to pay me, like I'll fly to you, like I don't care, like whatever. And so we set up a date to like film this. I want to say it was in like January of this year or maybe like November, December of last year, I don't know. We set up an appointment to like film it at their studios in LA. She sends me 30 fucking release forms. Same shit, like Dr. Phil can sell my likeness, he can use my likeness or anything. I can never slander him in any way, which I don't, this isn't like slander. I can never say anything bad about my experience on the show. Like, I have to say and do whatever they want me to say and do. I sign them all. I get back on the phone with her and she basically says like, okay, like you're gonna come in next week to film. Like, now that you've signed this, you signed a form basically saying whatever we tell you to say and do on the show, you have to say and do. And there's even like another clause on that same piece of paper that basically said like they can portray me in any way that they want. Like, if they want to portray me as like it's all in my head and like I'm a fucking psychopath or like a really mean girl or like a crazy person or like someone really stupid, like, or like a bad daughter, a bad friend, like if they want to portray me in any negative way, I can never slander the show back. And then if they portray me in any negative way and I ever like talk about it, I would have to like go along with whatever way that they like portrayed me. So her and I eventually get into this deep conversation where she's like, basically like what we would want to do is like have you tell your whole stalker story. Like, Dr. Phil would kind of pretend like he doesn't believe it. You would like fight with him and go back and forth and get very angry. There would be like inquisitive things where we like question if it's like all in your head type of thing. There'd be like a small segment where you would like empower other girls if like they were being stalked though, so that like it ends in a good note. And then she literally verbatim says, and then if you could like get a hold of your stalker, we could have him like walk out and we can do like a dramatic reveal, and then we could have you guys like confront each other and you guys like ask each other questions, and like we could like show his yearbook photo with yours like from your 2nd grade class. Does that sound good? And so I literally was just like flabbergasted. Like, here I was thinking I was just gonna get an opportunity to like go on Dr. Phil and like tell my story. And it makes no sense because really like my stalker story is fucking crazy on its own. I have so much proof. I had so many things at that time too that I still have that are like unseen things, unseen like footage, unseen like little tidbits of things he's done, like lots of proof. Like, I had a lot of stuff to like line it up and like it would have been like a really good show like on its own, like just the normal story as is. And they're basically telling me like, long story short, like we want to make you look like a dumb lying bitch. Like, is that cool? Like, will you do it for free? Hee hee. And so then I just kind of say no. They also again tell me, just like with the Steve Harvey show, they would portray it as if like I just wrote them a letter about like my crazy stalker. Like, they wouldn't talk about my YouTube channel or my YouTube videos once. Like, I would just be like some random girl. There are literally parts in that letter saying if they wanted to like change my fucking name, they could. Like, if they wanted to change the way I dressed and like my fucking hair color. And then obviously there's absolutely no way that I could just be like, hey stalker, like I know you're really busy like trying to ruin my life and all, and like breaking into my house and like hiding from me completely, and I have no contact of you, but like want to be on the Dr. Phil show with me where I make you look like the world's worst fucking human? That would absolutely never happen. I mean, not only do I have absolutely no way to contact my stalker, and not only is that just like the funniest thing in the world to me, like that would never happen. So I basically say no, and then there's kind of like a big aggravation / uncomfortable frustration where I can tell that it's like, well, you already signed this. Like, if we really wanted to, you would have to go on the show. I guess once you sign it, you like legally bind yourself to doing it. So like technically if I didn't, they could like take me to court and whatever. But I could tell by the way she was wording everything, she knew if they were gonna like try to force me to go on Dr. Phil, like I would fucking story time the fuck out of this bitch and like fight her. It's not like I was gonna be like threatened into going on Dr. Phil and like portraying something that I wasn't, if that makes sense. So we both just kind of like ended it there, and it kind of ended with like me being like, well, if you ever want me on the show to genuinely just tell my stalker story, if you guys want to try to contact my stalker, if you want to do like actual real things, like hit me up. And her being like, well, like I'll pitch that idea to Phil, but like I don't see it happening, but like if you ever want to do it our way, like the phone works both ways, just give me a call, hee hee. And me just being like, okay, dumb bitch, bye. And so I know a lot of people hate the Catch Me Outside girl, and I'm sure that this will receive hate, but she has said it herself a million times. They made her out to look really bad, and I know firsthand that like that's what they do now, and that's what they've always done, and that's what shows like that do. I honestly probably bet that Danielle Bergoli's mom thought that like they were actually just gonna go on the show to like work out their family problems. Don't get me wrong, like she said, catch me outside, how about that? But I'm sure that like any parts of them having like good heartfelt moments were like cut out to make her look worse, and that's probably why she doesn't fucking like Dr. Phil, which makes perfect sense to me.
Reality TV is not real, folks. So take care not to fall for some of this stuff. Cheers.